Welcome back to the bubble, ladies and gentlemen, and our Ar-Âdunâim campaign on Divide and Conquer with the expanded unit roster sub-mod. We are going to play this campaign as loyal servants or loyal allies to Sauron, and we will do everything in our power to bring the Ring of Power back into its rightful owner. And we will also be a real nuisance to at least Gondor, but we'll see how far we are going to push that, which also brings me to a question that I would like to have you decide in the comments regarding trade rights specifically, and if we should only have trade rights with the allies of Sauron, which would make sense actually. And we could also in that case go for Gundabad and Moria as well, for example. The bigger question is, should I get raid rights and sell map information to good factions as well? So write down what you think in the comments below and I will follow your recommendations. In the last episode we just landed far down to the south here. We sailed up and lay siege to Umbar for a couple of turns, just enjoying the king's purse money that was flowing into our coffers. We still have some benefit from that. And then we sieged it and we assaulted it and we took heavy casualties, losing over a third of our army, I think. Yeah, over 1,000 troops were lost in taking Umbar, but that is a price we are willing to pay. We don't really see any value in our own lives, but we are happy to lay them down for our Dark Lord Sauron. We are now laying siege to both Ar-Âdunâim with an army led by Gimil Thon, and then we have a bit of a stronger army laying siege to Khaldun, and that is led by our faction heir, Lord Gimilsor. So it has one more infantry unit than the other sieging army has, but basically I plan on sieging these down to when they sally out, basically, and that is because I'm in no rush. We still get a hefty king's purse on 7k per turn, and this is going to decrease when we take more settlements. And also I have been taking a look at the traits of the generals, because if any one of them would be, for example, impatient, then I would have them siege it a bit sooner than what I would prefer, because they are basically the general, and I will try to play a little bit, at least according to the traits, to make it a bit more interesting. So if we look at Gimilthon, for example, we can see that he is both smart, which will help him as a governor increase trade and taxes income. But if we take that trait, being smart, and combine it with eager gives him more movement points. But I'm thinking in the sense of this siege, he's not impatient. He's just eager, but he's also smart. So I think he understands that starvation and attrition, just weakening this garrison as much as possible and having them sally out will be the best for this battle, because it is a castle, which will mean, I think, either ballista towers or the very, very damaging arrow towers. Sorry. So he is going to use his intellect here and siege it for as long as possible. Worth noting that I don't know if there is an independent army around here as well, because if so, they are going to attack us probably at Ar-Âdunâim. But we will use the information we have at hand and keep sieging it. We also have a spy within Ar-Âdunâim. We have Indrazor there, our starting spy, who could help us opening up the gates, but we are just going to siege it until they sally out. I also plan on trying to get Indrazor to kind of die heroically, because we need to recruit a new spy in order to help with the culture growth, which is going to be absolutely vital for us, since we are the only faction that has King's Men culture. If we go up to the army we have here, if we look at his traits, he is not impatient either. He is rather very, very... he has no problem with sieging Khaldun down to they selling out, because he thinks winning first. We don't care about being quick, we don't care about being honorable, whatever that would mean in this case, but winning first. He is a wall taker, but that has no effect, so he wouldn't mind attacking the walls, but winning is of utmost importance to Lord Gimmelsorr, so he's going to siege that down. We also got an alliance with Harad, although we are Númenórean and a pretty racist version of Númenóreans. We are the best living creatures on Middle-earth, second only to Sauron, basically. We hate the elves, we are better than the elves in our mind, and don't even get me started on Gondor and Rohan and those weak-minded humans. We are the stronger ones, and that's how we're going to play it. And we have one diplomat moving towards Khand, because they are, of course, allied to the Dark Lord. So we will try to get trade rights with them now that we finally have a settlement to trade from. And another diplomat. Let's see if we can find him. This might actually be faster.
Yes, my lord. Yes,
he is over here, and he is going to move north to talk to Mordor, for example, but also if you would allow me to start getting trade rights with other factions, then he, of course, will be getting all kinds of stuff over here from, like, Rohan, Isengard, Lothlorien, etc. We might still get Isengard, because currently, I believe Sauron still maintains his somewhat alliance to Mordor, although they don't have an outspoken diplomatic alliance yet. I think that is all we have to say about this campaign so far, and we are going to end the turns. We have 3 turns left until Ar-Âdunâim sallies out, and 4 turns left until Khaldun sallies out. We do have a mission to take Khaldun, which will give us another 2,000 gold coins, and our King's Purse is still making us money, so we are in no rush yet. Let's end the turn. Another turn in the bag. End of turn report, still making money, and we are getting a bit higher up in finances, but we are still only on 18th place, although we have 20k in our coffers. Khazad-dûm is, of course, the richest faction, but this is something that doesn't look good for us at all. Gondor is strongest in overall population and military, so we really hope that Mordor will be able to stand firm in fighting them, of course. Dol Amroth is no more, so that's nothing to worry about. But you will keep going. Actually, I wanted to go this way. We can scout a little bit with Admiral Sakalthor. He has, of course, the very, very efficient ships here, but we are not really at war with anyone, and I will not push any aggression until we have a solid foothold to start attacking from. So now, I first of all would actually want you to scout this all the way up to Osgiliath. So if you can go up here first, see if we have any more settlements and can see any more armies. We have one, their independent army, so it's not Gondorian. Their banners look pretty similar when it comes to their military. And you, standing in my way to reach Osgiliath. But at least we have some scouting on ports right now. We have one more down there. And I will see if the Gondorian fleet moves so I can start sailing upwards. I don't think so, but we will hope that they do. Otherwise, I will just turn the ship around and start sailing it up the coast here to get as much visibility as possible of the Gondorian coast. This area, it starts out as independent, but Gondor can very well have taken it, or Isengard might have pushed all the way over here, or Enedwaith. There are so many things that can happen on this side, and we need to know as much as possible before we start planning for assaults. But first and foremost, we of course need to start building our own civilization, so keep sieging. The attrition should help here. We can't see how many units they actually have, but I am trusting the starvation process. You will keep going this way, and you will also be seeing some Harad settlements, which is good for us, and keep moving up there. If we're lucky, then Khand won't turn on the Dark Lord, but will rather join us or keep being allied to us, and they will take these areas that are closest to the border of Mordor and move up here, and then maybe Harad will be attacking from here, and I can rather focus on attacking from sea. That's what we're hoping, but if Khand decides to betray us, then my plan will be to to assemble an army, move through Harad territories, and help bringing them down. We might even give some territories over to Mordor, but we can of course get conscription camps, which will allow us to recruit some of the Varyag's units. And since we are pretty low on recruitable cavalry units, it might be in our interest to have conscriptions camps in Khand, but I would rather like to focus on this western side and be able to leave the eastern territories up to Rhûn, for example, and Khand, and Mordor, of course, and Dol Guldur, etc., etc. So they can fight Dorwinion, Dale, Erebor, Lothlorien, everything that's up here. But we will see how Khand decides to do. Since they are lower form of humans than we are, we can't really trust them, but we do trust the Dark Lord. We have 2 turns left on the Mason's Hall. It actually takes quite a while to build that one. And once we are done with the Mason's Hall, I'm going to go straight for the Guild House, so we will be able to build as many important buildings as possible to boost our economy, which is of course going to be very, very good for us once it's upgraded fully in Umbar, for example, and I have trade with Khaldun, Ar-Âdunâim, etc. This is going to be a very, very rich region. But we have nothing more to do here, so let's end the turn. Another turn in the bag. End of turn report, still making money. We're not spending on anything really. If we look at our recruitment capabilities in Umbar, we still have a long time to wait until we can recruit any of even our tier 1 units. 9 turns, and in 9 turns we will also be able to get the Balaketh Axe Guard, which will be a very efficient, shocking infantry unit. And then of course we have Farasim Nobles, which will give us another general, and that might be in our interest actually, because I would like to have them as governors and rather have our OG Gimilthon and Lord Gimilsor. I'd rather have them on the field so they can use their abilities, for example, and to boost the troops' morale and efficiency. That is done.
Yes, my
You
lord.
keep moving.
Without question.
Keep seeing more
Yes.
Harad armies.
Without question.
Might be a settlement down here that I'm missing
Yes.
on scouting, but your mission is going and talking with the Varyag's of Khand. Potentially, we're even able to get an alliance with
Without
them,
question.
because we are already allied to Harad, for
As you
example.
wish.
We'll
Tomorrow's
keep
journey
going,
planned
and
out.
now let's see if the Gondorian fleet has moved. There we have Pelargir, looks very weakly defended. Would be fun to... That's basically what I'm going to try to do later when we are assaulting Gondor, is set up a bunch of strong fleets and just attack all the way across the sea border here. But I'm hoping that Mordor will be able to hold until we get there. Osgiliath is reached and Minas Tirith is reached. Okay, so Gondor has actually taken eastern Osgiliath, which is not good for us, but I'm hoping that Minas Morgul will hold, and we trust in the efficiency of our Dark Lord to make sure that they hold this choke point and also the regions up here on the northern side, so they can keep a pressure on Karandros and Osgiliath, for example, and absolutely keep Gondor in place until we are able to assist them efficiently. 1 turn left until Ardumir sallies out, and 2 turns left until Khaldun sallies out. I'm going to quick save. We don't have any more moves to make. End the turn. And here we have it. They sally out. Now Gimilthon will be able to prove himself for the first time, actually leading his own army. Let's take a look at what Captain Muthana has in his army. Of course, Black Snake Guard. Pretty scary units, but but we do have spear-wielding units, and our archers will need to focus on these units a lot. their army actually resembles ours quite a bit. The balance of power is in our favor because they only have a captain and we have a decent general. They do have 2 cavalry units that we will definitely need to look out for. The Sauron Lancers, 7 charge bonus, and actually decent defense because they have both shields and armor, so they will not be as susceptible to our archer fire as we might have wanted. We also have 2 pike units, which, if I recall correctly, are a little bit better than the Beleger pikemen, who are also very depleted from the battle at Umbar. Then we have the Sauron archers, which are a better version than the Haradrim archers. So we are going to do our absolute best here, of course. We would like to have cavalry as well, of course, but eventually we will be able to get that through conscription camps and whatnot. But we are going to take this settlement, do our absolute best, of course, to minimize casualties. But we have an ace up our sleeve with the Alcarondas Legion, who is insanely strong. And I will try to use my other infantry units to hold a line while the archers pepper down their cavalry first and foremost, but also their pikemen. And the Alcarondas Legion will be running around the sides, basically trying to kill their infantry units by charging them into the back. So let's fight this battle on the map.
Muster your courage, men!
And I'm going to pause right away. Okay, they don't have the ballista towers, but they do still have the very, very efficient arrow towers. All of you drop your siege equipment, and we will need to form some kind of a line here. I wouldn't mind trying to use the siege towers to our advantage, because it will be more difficult to charge when the siege equipment is interfering with the cavalry charges and also with the infantry. So I will have you stand here. Actually, I'm going to switch. So you be standing right here. I will also want you in shield wall eventually. I think they will be charging from this side. So let's actually stand like so. Create some kind of a defensive formation. You over there. All of the archers, they will have their shields on their left-hand side, so it will be better for us to shoot from the right. But seeing as we have most of our defensive structures on the left side, we are just going to have to do our best in shooting over that and straight ahead, basically. The Alcarondas Legion, let's see. I think it's better to have them on the left side. I think will be where we will be more heavily beset. And the general, for now, I'm going to put you right in the middle, but it might be better to put you over here. You have the dark blades, which means that they are not efficient against cavalry compared to the units that our faction heir has right now. But they still look pretty gosh darn cool, and we have 141 of them. So they will be able to deal a lot of damage. But for now, you'll be standing there. Let's have all of our units run into position so we can get ready. And the phalanx will, of course, need to be in phalanx, or the pikes will, of course, need to be in phalanx formation. They will start running when all of them have caught up. First of all, the enemy will start getting into position, and then they will start sallying out towards us. So in that time, I will start putting my units into formations. You are going to take a beating, most likely, but we will need to take this settlement, and since they sally out, we can still get a draw. You spread out even more. We can still get a draw, but hopefully, of course, we'll be able to kill all of them. Sauron Lancers, shoot at them. We desperately need to start bringing down their cavalry. You will be in guard mode, so will you. Actually, I think I might want you over on the other side. And if they are dumb enough to... They actually ran straight into my general. So if you can turn around and killing them, you keep killing them. All of you can start shooting at the blobs right now. I think we will be getting really good kills there. And you go into melee and try to bring them down. I think their general... this might be the general, actually. So if we're able... or the captain. So if we are able to kill him, then they will be much easier to break. So far, of course, we have killed more of them than they have of us. But it's going to be very important that our pikes stand firm and bring down their cavalry as soon as possible. Their Southron pikeman tries to run around us, so you take this opportunity and start shooting at them. You reform your lines, prepare to fight those Southron pikemen, and these archers. I will actually run around, because this is all archers. It's the infantry here that we need to be kind of wary. We'll need to bring down. Our pikemen will hopefully hold pretty well, and especially when assisted by the archers from the other side. You are shooting very strangely right now. And these Southron pikemen are going to be very good at holding the line against our Al-Qaronda's legion, who actually have suffered quite a bit of casualties. I will use this right now, the Númenórean war cry, to increase our fighting capability and also decrease theirs. Southron Lancers are pulling back. Archers run around, stand right here. You are all, of course, going to get heavily beset by their units. And now the Black Snake Guard is going to attack us, which is going to hurt, but put them in guard mode. You run up. You run back. Yeah, they got a siege, or they got a charge off on our troops, but that doesn't really matter. You keep attacking them. You shoot at them. Great. Now they are starting to pull back, so we can start shooting at the Southron pikemen. You start shooting at them, and the general is still in a somewhat safe position. They start pulling back, and we are sending in our Al-Qaronda's legion to silence the archers as well as possible. You can actually turn and fight the Snake Guard. If we kill the captain, it will be a lot easier for us to break the rest of them. We have actually lost a pretty significant amount of our troops. And you keep shooting at them. You should be able to shoot at them now as well. And now you can keep attacking them. Okay, they are charging into our spears. That actually works out very well for us. And the general, or the captain, is in a very vulnerable position. The pikemen are starting to rout, so if we can turn around with the Al-Qaronda's legion and try to capture as many of these as possible. Perfect. The captain is dead. And the archers need to get into position again. All of you. You are getting some pretty good shots off right now, so I will start moving up the infantry even more. And I also want to get a better angle with our archers. You run into position over here, and you are probably shooting into the siege tower, so move up to the left side of it. The Al-Qaronda's legion are doing a great job at holding right here, and they are basically breaking as soon as they run into us. Move up the Al-Qaronda's legion a little bit more. They are sturdy. Their armor stats are insane. I do not like the position you are in right now, so please run into the correct one. Shoot at the Black Snake Guard. You shoot at the Black Snake Guard. Pikemen should be able to kill them very, very quickly. You shoot at the Southron Lancers. Can we get one volley off? And they break right away. Keep shooting them so we can get rid of them. And they can't get any more charges off on us. You run up to this side, and this is where we want them to stand, so they will shoot in the more vulnerable positions. This is not perfect for our Al-Qaronda's legion to fight the pikes, but if we are able to run up the archers into a position where they can shoot into the back of the pikemen, then that is going to help us, of course. You can stop being in shield wall formation. We need you to be a bit faster to maneuver. You are only warmed up. And now move up the archers even more. And keep shooting at them. So far, we have lost almost a fifth of our army, but killed 63%. And they will keep sallying out. They will just regather and then run back out again, break again, etc. Let's see if we can get you to attack them as well. The pikes are in a very, very vulnerable position right now. Perfect. They broke. Keep chasing them down. Keep chasing them down. We do still need them to come back out. Okay. Actually, let's reform the infantry line here and create a really good just firing squad for our archers. A really good little gullet here, whatever we want to call it. The pikes, I'm actually thinking about running back because the cavalry should be brought down easily enough by our archers. You turn around. Now they're actually charging, and you keep shooting in the blob. Cavalry is gone, so run back with the pikes. Save the very precious few we have left. And for these units, just keep shooting. You get ready to fight the Sauron pikemen. Actually, don't move forward, just stand here, because if they move in here, they will be in a very good position to be shot by our troops. So all of our archers, half of our archers, are aiming at the pikemen, bringing them down. They do not have any shields, so they are a bit more susceptible to archer fire, but they do still have some armor stats that is going to lessen the blow a little bit. All of you be in guard mode. The archers are still going to injure us quite a bit. There we go. Now they are broken. Keep shooting at the Ar-Âdunâim archers. We do still have quite some ammunition left, especially the dark blades have a lot of arrows left. Do they have any units on the square? No. So everyone is basically outside of the settlement, moving back out, breaking, moving back in. But I will try to play this smart, not too eagerly, because if they do have any archers or any units in here to activate the towers, then we will take a lot more unnecessary casualties than we ideally would like to. Keep shooting them. We do need them to break, though. So far, they don't really seem to want to break. Now, you can start shooting. We do have a few volleys left. So let's spend some of them shooting into the back of the pikes. Our accuracy, it is not the best with these early tier troops. You can keep shooting here. When you're out of ammunition, I will just have you stand on your current position. There we go. The gate is opening and closing. So if we just get a charge off here, I think we should be able to break them all. So I will have you drop out of shield wall formation, run in and break the Ar-Âdunâim archers. And that should be it for this settlement, because no one, they haven't really gotten back to the square to regroup yet. So if we are able to break them before the pikes get back to the square, then this settlement will be ours. Otherwise, we will need to run back again, break the Sauron pikemen again. So this will be a very important timing question for us. We have the pikes over there, we have us over there. Can we just break the Sauron pikemen? There we go. They didn't manage to get back in time. We did lose 22%, but this general has a healing trait. But it is also a bit diminished because we are in a siege right now. I don't think that applies to this specific battle. But let's see how much we heal from 22 down to 16. So let's see, we healed 6 out of 22, so a little bit more than a fourth of our casualties were healed, fortunately enough. So we did lose 173 troops, still have almost 1,000 left. The MVPs, 211 on the Belligate archers, 194 here, 185 on the archers, 138 on the dark blades. It's no exaggeration to say that the archers won this battle, but the Alcaronda's Legion did a great job holding their lines, and also they were charged by cavalry early on, so they did a great job there. I'm not very happy about us healing casualties on the general. I would prefer actually healing some of the troops that don't recover, but the generals only heal up to 77, I think, so we don't automatically heal them up to the 140 original values. But Ar-Âdunâim at least is ours right now.
Honor, victory.
Glory,
My lord,
honor,
our
victory.
courage and honor have conquered.
This general is not unnecessarily cruel or anything like that, so there's no reason to exterminate the population. I'm also thinking about later down the line performing a royal decree, so even if a general is brutal or something like that, then they are not allowed to exterminate the population, but then they will rather sack it instead, because that will be better for our faction in the long term, and in doing so also will make Mordor and the Dark Lord stronger. But hopefully we did have some Darkman culture already in Ar-Âdunâim, so I'm just going to occupy this settlement and hope that that will be enough. Enemy camp sacked. Unfortunately now we should see, okay, they are not happy with us at all, 60%, and we cannot affect the tax rate, so the only thing we really can do is build a dark sanctuary and hope that culture growth will be able to get us there. We won't get them. We won't prioritize the Mason's Hall here, but rather the Dark Sanctuary to decrease the culture penalty that we have right now, which is 75%. That is difficult stuff when playing as the Kingsmen of the Ar-Âdunâim or the Ar-Âdunâim, because we will start everything in an uphill battle here. You can also see that the governor's influence is very, very, very weak, unfortunately. So Gimilthon, you are not a very good governor. No renown, basically. Voted least likely to succeed at his academy graduation. His command skills are not very good either. The only thing he has at least average in is loyalty, which is something we of course value very, very highly. But eventually you are going to grow, of course. But for now, we just need to give it 2 turns for the Dark Sanctuary to grow. I'm also thinking about if it's worth it to send our faction leader over to Ar-Âdunâim to help with the culture. But he is, if he leaves Umbar,
Yes, my lord.
then they are not going to be happy either. Then they are down to 55. We can keep it if we get the tax rates low.
Your
And it's still
orders, my lord.
2 turns, 1 turn in here, and they will revolt during that one, and then he's gonna be back in Ar-Âdunâim. We are also losing money not having him in Umbar, and we are going to lose troops in Ar-Âdunâim due to the revolt as well. But the culture growth is going to come with the Dark Sanctuary. I just don't know if it's quick enough, and this is the issue with castles, that you cannot affect the tax rate. You will try to go into this city, see if that will hurt you at all.
Yes,
Now we
my
need to think. We can switch them.
lord. Your orders, my lord.
What if we take all the troops out? Does that affect this at all? 55, so it actually does help that the troops are in here. I just wonder how many we actually need to have in the settlement. Get you in. What are we up to then? 65. Okay, so we don't need all of these troops in here. You will be moving to the fort. Let's actually move you over to Ar-Âdunâim.
Your orders.
And then in the next turn, Gimilthon will be moving to Umbar instead, just to make sure that we can have the culture or the public order under wraps in Ar-Âdunâim. 121. I think you've healed more than you should, so maybe they don't just heal up to 77 anymore. At least the Dark Sanctuary is going to be good, and these troops will later be moving up to the army that's sieging Khaldun. We have 1 turn left until they sally out. Then we will hopefully be winning that battle as well. And then our plan is to, as soon as we get another general, move on to take Gobel Mirlond. And we will siege that one down for as long as we can as well.
My lord.
You are moving to
Your orders.
that settlement. You will keep moving
Yes,
over here.
Stopping here. Tomorrow's journey
And
planned out,
this
my lord.
diplomat. Let's see how
Without
far up.
question. As you wish.
Okay, I think the warriors of Khan have actually already reached this region. We should be able to find a settlement along this border
Without question.
where we can get trade
I shall
rights
continue
with
tomorrow.
the warriors of Khan. And I am happy that Umbar so far is somewhat happy. The culture is growing. the cultural unrest is still really, really bad. But in 4 turns, we could have a Mason's Guild House, and after that, we would be building a lot more. So then we can start growing the economy and the culture and all of those important things. The Dunlendings are at war with the clans of Enedwaith right now, which I am not sure how I like, if I like that. Probably don't, because clans of Enedwaith should be fighting the Dunedain, they should be fighting Bree, should be fighting the High Elves, should be fighting Gondor, but instead they are fighting Dunlendings, who in turn should be fighting Rohan and the High Elves and the Dunedain. So I do not like that we are kind of infighting, but they are not allied to the Dark Lord yet. So they haven't found the way, the right path quite yet. For this turn at least, Gimmerthon will still be in here, although they will still be not close enough to make the settlement not have a revolt. But at least it's not going to turn in just one season. That is enough for here. Let's see what our ship is up to right now. And go up. Okay, you've actually already been up there. That's what I just remembered. So now I want you to sail along this coast and take a look at settlements that might be along the Gondorian coast, so we know where they are. I think we are done here, so let's quick save. And then we are going to fight the Battle of Khaldun, unless they decide to just give us the settlement without a fight, which would be nice, of course, because remember, winning comes first. But this army is a bit stronger than the one I had at Ar-Âdunâim, so I feel a little bit confident, more confident there. But the Númenórean cohort is not as strong as the Alcaronda's Legion, but we do have another infantry unit here to thicken the lines a little bit, and also, of course, Lord Gimilzor. Let's end the turn and see what Khaldun decides to do. And they elected to sally out and fight for Khaldun. Valiant, but the army strength ratio is 10-3 in our favor. Let's see what you have. Also, the Black Snake Guard, Sauron Lancers, and Pikemen, Archers, and Ar-Âdunâim Archers. So this army is pretty much identical to the one we faced in Ar-Âdunâim. But we should still be able to take it down because our army is stronger as well. So I will try to perform a similar tactic as we did in the other battle. We will let them come to us and basically spell their own destruction. Let's fight this battle on the map.
We attack! So wait my orders.
And immediately I'm going to pause because look at this battle map. And look at the defensive structures that we have here as well. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I need all of you drop your equipment. Then archers, run up here, where you'll be able to get a very good angle. I do not like the general being on the side, though. Let's see if we can do this instead. This should be better for us. Run into position, then we will create one strong line pikes on the left side, because that's where at least that's where the cavalry attacked the last time, but we have spears. So I am going to set it up like this. Looks like the pikes might end up in the middle. Just put them out on that side. Okay, it was actually correct, I think, the first time. Run into position. And since the pikes were holding on to siege equipment, they are not in phalanx formation yet. Númenórean cohort, they will be on... Let's see, we are pretty head-on right now. But I do believe that it's still better to have them on the left flank, where they are more likely to send their cavalry. So you run up here, all of you run and start the game. This is perfect for us, because if these structures, siege equipment, also helps in nullifying any charges, or interrupting them at least, then that would be very, very good for us. And of course, you will start shooting as soon as you can. You can already reach the Black Snake Guard. And we will need to... Okay, they actually put Sauron Lancers on the left side. I will have you run around the back where the archers are at. You shield wall formation. Spread out. You shield wall formation. Our center is a lot weaker, unfortunately. All of the archers should start shooting at the Black Snake Guard. You can actually focus on the Sauron Lancers. Okay, you need to turn around. I do not want you to get charged in the back. And once again, the Sauron Lancers were able to charge through, but they will be met by the Númenórean cohort, and they will be met by our spears. And they will go down very quickly. Okay, you can stand ground for now. The pikemen are not really used to their full capacity. Stop. You pull back a little bit. We still need you on the flanks. You move forward a little bit to help reinforce the center, which is going to be quite weak. You move back into formation. All of the archers can now start shooting at the closest Sauron pikeman unit. We haven't killed their general or their captain yet, but he is over here, and he is quite weak, so I will have my general only focus on that unit. There we go. Captain is dead, pelted by arrows. So now we can keep focusing on them. You spread out or get into formation. All the missile troops focus on the Sauron pikemen. If we are able to bring down enough of their numbers, don't like that the cavalry is still going strong, but if they are dumb enough to run into our phalanx formation, then that is their funeral. Pikemen are moving in. The Sauron pikemen are dead, or rather routed, and they are routing as well. So let's see if we can start moving forward with our infantry lines, trying to catch a little bit less damage from the archers than we did in the last battle, because they have no one on the square, and if we are able to break them before the cavalry gets back, then we will be able to win this battle a lot quicker than we did the last one. So far we have lost 2%, killed almost 60. So our archers have been able to do a very, very good job so far. The gate is actually closed, but it's opening up to the cavalry who might... Let's see. Okay, there we have the town square, and that's where the that's where the cavalry will need to get back to. Ar-Âdunâim archers are only marching. I don't think they are routed. No, they are not, because they are still coming back. And you move into them. Both of you can drop the shield wall formation, run forward, have the archers keep shooting while they are moving in. And you... Let's see if you can run in and attack the archers. They are broken. The Ar-Âdunâim archers are too far back for us to reach, though. So you start shooting at the Ar-Âdunâim archers. They are wavering, but the cavalry has reached the square, so they will still be able to turn and run back. So what we're going to do now is reform the lines. Like so. Move up the archers. Put you over here and you over here. To create the same kind of funnel that we did the last time. They are broken, but because the cavalry came back, the entire army isn't wiped out yet. This looks a bit strange. You reform the line like so. You stand over here. We haven't even used our ability yet. And okay, the towers just got activated. It sounded like it at least, but so far it hasn't caused any casualties. You start shooting at them. You start shooting at them. Move up a little bit more. We don't want to be so close that the towers can cause damage to us. Southron Lancers. Can we get a volley off before their charge? Stop, 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 stop. Shooting at them instead. There we go. They are broken. And you need to get into a better position. Let's run you in right back behind the lines here. You are still shooting. And we might actually be too close here. So we will need to pull back a little bit. They do still have... You are not visible on the map. Kind of strange, but you will still be able to reach it. Most likely. And also come back. And this is a dangerous position for us. Because if we go closer... then we are going to activate the towers. So what I'm going to do is group up the whole army and move them back into a position that is better for us. And I will have everyone running to get into position. You can actually keep shooting at the archers to cover our tactical retreat. Because they will be able to shoot in our backs right now, and that is going to cause a couple of casualties. Looks like they're aiming at the archers though. You start shooting. You start shooting. While our melee units and the other archer units are able to go back. I wonder what it is that... Must be the pikes that don't really like spreading out. That forms a column formation. Now, you can start running back to the elevated position, because right now they outrange us quite significantly because they have the high ground. Obi-Wan would be proud. And now I think we are losing more troops than we really would need to. And they are coming back with even more troops. All of you. Who is it that... Okay, it's the phalanx. So all of you can hold. Maybe it's the shield wall. It doesn't really matter. You will get into position. You get into position. And so will you. And now that they are starting to move out, then the cohort, you are not that fast. Let's take a look here. You are 99% average movement speed, 101. So it's the spearmen that we really would like to start charging out on the archers. But first of all, we need to get into a better position to actually give us the time to run them down before they are able to come too close to the towers. Shield wall again. And you shield wall again. And we should soon be able... You can actually start shooting at the Southron Lancers, because they are the quickest to get back to the square, which means that they are quicker at prolonging the game, basically, and not having the entire army revolt. There we go. You break that, charge the Har-Âdunâim archers, and the rest of you should be able to shoot at those units. You are actually very tired and exhausted. Might be good for us to start thinking about using the Númenórean war cry soon. One unit is still... Yep, they are actually sitting on the square, which is going to cause a draw if we can't get them to come out. They are running back because they are only wavering. Come back with the spears. And we desperately want the units that are on the square to come out, so we don't need to run in there. Because if so, I think we still need to get the ram and everything like that. But the timer is still on our side. They are broken and still getting absolutely pelted. They have both the Southron archers and the Har-Âdunâim archers here. The Southron are, of course, a bit stronger. So we need to kill them, because they don't break as easily as the Har-Âdunâim archers. Reloading, firing missiles. We have only lost 4% so far, actually. So we've been doing much better than we did in the last battle. But if we will need to run into the square, then we are going to have some difficulties there, and we are going to get pelted by the towers most likely. You can't shoot at the Southron pikemen yet, but if they start coming a little bit closer, they are clever at still holding the square. We might need to consider sending a unit. Let's see, the square is over here. So if we send a unit with ladders all the way over to this side, we might be able to come in without getting assaulted by the towers if we need to fight the pikemen on the square. So I think the Númenórean cohort, who are a little bit slower, you can take the ladders. And then start moving over to the other wall. We're also starting to run out of ammunition with our archers. That is not the best. We have wasted a lot on these few squads with few units that keeps coming out. Okay, all of you, stop shooting, because this unit we should actually be able to catch. In the meantime, you move up and take the ladders. You can. There we go. Move up and take the ladders and then walk around. There we go. Broke them. Are we able to capture the last one? Yes, we are. That's good. They do still have units close to the square, which is not the best for us. We are the King's men. You shoot at the Southron Lancers and you are out of ammunition. I still believe that our archers have done a very, very good job, but the problem is this. The pikemen still standing on the square. They don't have any towers near the square, so that's good at least. That's in our advantage, and you... Because since they are moving this way, then they are much more likely to activate the towers on that side. So I don't know if it's close enough for you to just set up the ladder over here. Do they have anyone close to the... We have something stuck in here. Okay, it was these units who are running back to the square, but these units are also coming back, which means that it's in time for us to reach this gate. We might even have to smash it down because we don't have any spy in the settlement to open it for us. So in time for us to reach this gate, they will open it and we'll be pelted by arrows. You keep moving. We could just send in some archers, but they are very tired. We haven't used the ability yet. And if you know how the fatigue works, please write it down in the comments below. Does it work so now it decreases the fatigue? Or does it work so I should use it as early as possible to permanently decrease the fatigue level? Or the fatigue effect? I'd be very grateful if someone taught me that, but I am actually planning on doing a short video. Okay, you're actually reaching the cohort right now. I am planning on doing a video on just testing that, basically, to see how it works and the comparisons, if you use it when they are tired or if you use it before to not make them as tired. Okay, looks like we might be able to go to this side, and then you will be assaulting the square. They are still hugging it with very few troops. I think our cohort should be able to take them out pretty easily. They still have some archers roaming around. Very few troops just running back and forth. And when you can start shooting at the archers, so you shall. These are the bodyguards that have spears as well. Absolutely amazing units. They look so cool as well. The shield kind of looks a bit Dalian, but they are heavily armored. They have the Númenórean spears, and they are very efficient archers. Now you can start shooting at them, and you so far it looks like you might actually be able to get to the wall somewhat unassaulted. You are warmed up. Can you run with the ladder? That would be fun to learn, actually, if you can. Look at that. You're still gonna get a little bit more tired running and carrying ladders, but it does buy us a little bit more time to get up on the wall, down it, and then run in this way towards the square. How's it going over here? We just broke them, didn't we? Yep. Now you can stop shooting. And so far we are still able to walk around the settlement. And let's actually increase the speed a little bit here, because I don't see any immediate threats to us. But it's still going to take a while for them to run all the way up, and it looks like the units are starting to run this way now, which is not the best for us. Decrease the speed a little bit again, because if they come here, then they will activate the towers. No, you're just running straight ahead. That's good. Perfect for us. And when all of you are up on the wall, you need to walk down here. We might even try. We need to get down soon enough, because now you can see that the towers are starting to shoot. The run might have even been better for us to run down this way, actually, because we are gonna take some casualties from the towers because of these Haradrim archers who have broken infinite amount of times. But they're still able to cause casualties. You run down over here. Hopefully we are going to keep the casualties to the Númenórean cohort to the minimum, at least. And then I will just plant you on the square, where you will be fighting the pikemen. And then hopefully win us the settlement. Good. It doesn't look like the towers are shooting at you anymore. They actually are, unfortunately. But now, I don't want to cause more casualties than necessary, so I will not send up any more troops. Maybe that is a mistake. You are fresh, so let's take you out of the shield wall. I want to see if you can walk through the gate. No, probably not, because we haven't captured it. You are tired. We are actually losing quite a few of you in running around and fighting the towers, but it's nothing, I think, compared to if we were to assault this settlement head on. And putting you on the square will be the quickest way for us to win this settlement, I believe. And then before we attack, we are going to use the ability, which is going to stun the Sauron pikemen. They actually are already broken. There we go. And now, use the ability and charge.
Our men are in command of the castle.
We are in command of the castle, and now I plan on staying that way. You keep fighting the Sauron pikemen, take some prisoners, and then just turn around, kill the Haradrim archers. And if we have to play this out to the clock, if we break them, these guys are already routing. So if we are able to break these units, will we get the settlement already? Please break or die. Whichever way works for me. They are already broken. We have breakdancing Harad as well. So close to killing him. But now they are back on the square.
Lost control of the castle.
And now he's dead, right? Yep. So if we are able to kill them, we really had to kill them, basically down to the last man here. But we haven't lost too many of our own troops, which is great. Unfortunately, we did lose a couple of Númenórean cohort to the towers, but I think it could have been significantly worse. And remember, winning comes first. Just look at the difference in armor here. The Haradrim archers are the lowest archers that we can see in this region. They have no armor, basically just cloth and leather. Fighting these heavily armored Númenóreans. There we go. And the battle is won. Let's actually see how much we healed. 4% is very, very acceptable here. And we'll also need to keep in mind that the culture might be very bad. So we might actually have to sack this settlement just in order to keep it under control. We don't want another situation that we have in the southeast. And the battle, we lost 47. We did not heal as many as I would have wanted. We healed 8. None of them the Númenórean cohort, out of which we lost 10. But the archers did their jobs in causing casualties. 4 on the delegated footmen, 18, 11. But the MVPs of this one are the delegated archers. And of course, Naru sentinels did a great job bringing honor to the King's men and the Dark Lord. Khaldun is ours. And it looks right now like they are happy. But we do know what might happen afterwards. And since we don't really have a lot of important buildings, the way station is of course good for us. But I don't think land clearance or dirt paths will be destroyed if we choose to sack the settlement. And we need to make sure that we can actually hold this one without having to send our faction leader this way. Sack the settlement. Enemy camp sacked, yes. And the rioting in Ardumir. Did they kill Gimilthon? They killed Gimilthon in Ardumir. I should maybe have brought him out. But now you are in there. And we have already lost one of our OG generals. Which is of course an absolute travesty to us. Bad luck, one might say. Can you move into Umbar? 100% still with you in there. That works for me. And of course it is an utmost travesty that we lost one of our main generals. One that could actually have the ability. But he wanted to stay and see if we could survive at least one turn. Until we got the our king, Argimilkad, in there. But now you can move out. And this army can start moving towards Khaldun, so we can lay siege to Gobel Mirland. We also have an independent army here that we're gonna have to face. So we are saving money now. The king's purse is decreasing quite a bit. But we are still in the green, fortunately enough. Our army upkeep has decreased heavily because of the casualties we have taken. But also, of course, because we have a lot of units in the fort right now. So this is going to increase when we start moving the troops over to Khaldun, but we'll need to do that because I want Gobel Mirland, and we'll just have to walk through Captain Mirasor to get there. You can start moving. You stay in the fort. And I desperately want another general soon. Let's see if we can find any suitable husbands of Númenórean descent to marry into our family. And warriors of Khand. Let's get trade rights with them.
I accept.
Perfect. Trade rights. Let's see if we can also get an alliance.
Something further for me to hear then? We must declare this.
No alliance with the warriors of Khand.
Such as these.
I think we'll just have to accept that.
Yes,
and now
stopping
you
here.
can walk this long way around
Tomorrow's journey planned out.
to get up to
I shall
Rune.
continue
That
tomorrow,
is of course going to take
stopping
quite a
here.
while, but we do have a diplomat on his way over here as well, so we don't need to worry
As you wish.
about the western side of the Anduin.
Without question.
Actually, this might be
I
the
shall
best way for you to
continue
take,
tomorrow.
and we'll see if we can
Tomorrow's
get
journey
an alliance
planned out.
with Mordor, or at least trade rights to start the diplomatic relations with them. Umbar, 3 turns left until we have the Masons Guild House. You have 1 turn left until you have the Dark Sanctuary. And in Khaldun, we will start with the Dark Sanctuary right away to help with the culture growth. Men of the East, 78%. And the pesky Dunedain culture, 13%. We will need to get rid of that as soon as possible. And after I've gotten the Dark Sanctuary, I will do the same thing here as I did in Umbar. So start with the Masons Hall and then the Master Masons Hall. Then we can start focusing on more culture buildings. and economic buildings as well. We did lose the way station in the sack, and it would take 2.5k to build it again. But, ooh, a lot of retrainable units here. But that's not the priority right now. The priority was to not have a revolt here, to have another tragedy as we did in Ar-Âdunâim. But hopefully we will be getting more generals as the game progresses. If we look at the family tree, Emil Zagar, age 4, Farazon, age 2. So it's going to take quite some time before you are old enough to be put into service. And you will not be able to have any more children either, unfortunately. But now, at least we can keep in mind that if there's a risk of rebellion or rebellion, we need to get the general out of the settlement because he is not safe there. An expensive lesson to learn. And before we end the episode, I will have you sailing around the borders. Methras we have over there to keep scouting as much as possible. Dol Amroth, Edelond. We are starting to get a pretty decent picture on where the settlements are. I'm pretty sure there is a settlement up here somewhere that controls this region. I don't think it's Pelargir all the way over here, but it might very well be. And in this case, we need to take that settlement. But we have at least taken Khaldun. We have taken Ar-Âdunâim, paid a hefty price for it. But it is worth it for us. Everyone knows what they signed up for. And we are going to continue until we are victorious or extinct. Sauron will have his price. You go into Mirlond. You actually managed to get in. You are such a good spy. So that works for us. If we look at the garrison here, it's quite a bit stronger than the ones we faced in Khaldun and Ar-Âdunâim. But so the army will also be combined. The problem is that we don't have a general to lead it until we can marry someone into our family, or we can get a man of the hour. And we might be able to get one. It does not feel right fighting our own people. But in this storyline, these Belegaer units have strayed from the path and do not accept the Dark Lord as the one true ruler of Middle-earth. And so they shall die because of it. So, we are going to wrap up the episode here. We did take some steps forward, one pretty significant step backward, unfortunately. But let's just brush it off and move into the next episode with optimism that we are going to take down Captain Mirazor and also lay siege to Mirlond. If we are able to get a general, we should soon be able to train one, actually. In 3 turns, we will be able to train. Time to recruit 3. Okay, 21. So we're nowhere near being able to recruit a new one. But we hope that waiting for good opportunities to marry in a new Númenórean stud into the family tree is going to come our way. So thank you so much for watching. Any tips or tricks, please write them down in the comments below. Have a great day and take care. I will see you in the next one.